Hello, everybody. Welcome to my weird, wonderful world. And it's time for me to read some more liner notes to Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath. I'm going to pick up where I left off from last time. Now, I'm trying to do these liner note readings on Sundays, but depending, if I don't get a chance to do them on Sunday, I'll try to do them the next day or the next available chance that I get to do it. And I know these are not going to go get a lot of views. I don't do it for that. I mean, the first thing is I want to read the liner notes for my own benefits because I'm interested in this information. And if some of you out there, I know my core audience will like, some of you guys will like this. And I'm doing it for you guys. I'm doing it for myself. I'm not doing it for the views or to get more subscribers. Not these kind of videos. I have other ideas. I'm working on other ideas to get myself subscribers, but this is more personable for me. So I don't want to drag this out too long. I have an idea of where I'm gonna stop reading. Yeah. So this is gonna be a little bit of a length, maybe a lengthy episode. Okay, I'm just gonna get into it. In September, the band, whose early gigs were built around grungy versions of standard 12-bar blues songs popularized by the likes of Muddy Waters or Howlin' Wolf, were rechristened Earth. So they called themselves Earth. They would stick with this name for roughly a year, then prosperity for jamming gradually enabled them to build up a more contemporary repertoire that, nevertheless, was still fired by the love of Cream and Hendrix. However, they were also inspired by more obscure acts, including acid fried psychedelic rockers who Art, I guess the name of the band is Art, who emerged from the ashes of Chelsea band The VIPs before changing their name to Spooky Tooth. I heard of them. Art recorded one album for Island, the late 1967 release Supernatural Fairy Tale, whose lyrics and ponderous proto-heavy feel is now acknowledged by the band as a significant influence on their development. Indeed, a live tape of Mythology's final gig in July showed that Iommi and Ward were already covering the Art song "Room with a View" alongside the likes of Morning Dew and Spoonful. Okay, but it was to be another Island signing that would have a greater immediate impact on Earth. In November, the supported Jethro Tull, who just released their debut album This Was, an impressive Ian Anderson immediately invited Tony Iommi to join his band as replacements for the recently departed Mark Abrams. When they asked me if I was interested in joining, I talked to the other guys and told them I only would recall. They told me that I should go for it. They were they were just starting out at the time and we hadn't got another going. Or we haven't gotten anything going. Iomi appeared with Jethro with Tull Rolling on the Rolling Stones TV special Rock and Roll Circus, but the liaison didn't work out, and Tony returned to the relieved Earth. We were happy at we were happy as I'm about to say the S word. We were happy as shit. What there I said it. But Bill Ward, after just 2 or 3 weeks, okay. Um, Ironically, the move that had nearly caused Earth to throw in the towel turned out to be the making of them, having been given a tantalizing glimpse of the big time, Iomi returned to Earth with a more focused, driven attitude that he later admitted had been inspired by his brief sojourn with Tull. I learned that you have got to work at it. You have to rehearse. When I came back and I got the band back together, I made I made sure that everybody was up early in the morning and rehearsing. I said to them, "This is how we got to do it because this is how Jethro Tull did it." They had a schedule and they knew that they were going to work from this time till that time. I tried that with our band and we got into doing it. It worked. Instead of just strolling in at any hour, it made it more like we're saying, let's do it. I wanted to be better, Bill Ward now reflects. I wanted to be in a good band. At the time when Tony came back from Tull, it was like receiving really valuable information. Tony had gotten a glimpse of a place know we didn't know about, and it was received by me with interest and some self-doubt. Exciting news and very, very good advice. Like all things that were that like all things that like all things new that we thought were for us, we grabbed at the ideas. I think it's okay to come out of my experience and say that we all fell into place. The most important point is that Tony came back. We took we took on the new ideas with energy and willingness. Ironically, Earth divided their time between Kelsey, uh, Car- Carlisle, where Iomi and Ward still enjoyed considerable popularity as a result of their time with the local heroes mythology, and Birmingham, looking for more live work. They approached Jim Simpson, a jazz musician and entrepreneur who operated under the banner of Big Bear Management and who was already looking after various drum based progressive rock inclined acts, including Locomotive, who recently scored a top 30 single with Rudy's in Love. After allowing Earth to play at the blues club he just started, Henry's Blues House, Simpson signing the band, but bookings remained sporadic, and throughout 1969, Earth was packaged off to Germany at regular intervals to play at the legendary Star Club in Hamburg, a decision that Simpson would describe as rather like training a 1,000-meter runner by standing him on 5,000-meter courses. Okay, that's cool. As with the Beatles some years earlier, the demands of playing long hours in front of a hard to please audience enabled Earth to stumble upon their own sound. When we first got together, there were loads of soul clubs in England, and all everybody wanted to do was dance music. Plus, there were blues clubs. Geezer Butler reminisced in 1995. We used to get there. We used to get these gigs in Germany's where we have to play 8 or 9 45-minute spots each day, and we only knew about 10 songs, so we had to make them into 40-minute songs, which is where all the jamming came from and where the first two albums came from because we wrote them while we were jamming. To me, Sabbath was always just a really heavy blues band. That's all we were. Just an out and out 12 bar blues band. That's what we started. That's what we started as. We just took these blues notes and made them heavier because we were into Hendrix and Cream, who were like the heaviest bands around at the time. We just wanted to be heavier than everybody else. In an effort to please the manager, Earth came up with the jazz infliction. Uh, yeah, the jazz inflected, literally titled "Song for Jim," which was duly recorded but adjusted to be fairly slight. Doubting that the band had any real capacity to write their own commercially acceptable material, Simpson approached Norman Hayes, whose band Locomotive had just broken up. As well as playing keyboards and singing, Hayes was a songwriter, exactly what Earth was lacking. Reasoned Simpson, according to Haynes, Simpson asked him to join Earth, but the proposed combination didn't progress beyond Haynes offering the band a couple of his songs, including The Rebel. Now, I'm almost at the end to where I'm going to stop. Just a little bit more. No, okay, I want to go right to here. Okay, I got just a little bit more. While Simpson pondered the best way forward, a new problem presented itself. Decca released of a single by the Plymouth-based pop group also calling themselves Earth, left the band needing a new name. Inspiration came from the late 60s media fascination with the darker side of the spiritual world. Hammer horror films, Roman Polanski's Rosemary Baby, Dennis Wheatley bestseller, but also down-market Sunday newspaper like the News of the World, who regularly filled their pages with lurid tales of the satanic netherworld, often involved such names as Aleister Crowley and the self-proclaimed King of the Witches, Alex Sanders. We used to rehearse across the road from a movie theater in Ashton, Ozzy reminisced in 1998. There was something like The Devil Rides are showing there, and Tony said it was strange the way people pay money to see horror films and get scared. So we said, why don't we start to write scary music? And that's Ozzy. And everybody was getting into mysticism and occultism, confirmed Geezer. I had a morbid interest in I had a morbid interest in it. I lived for a time in a one-bedroom flat, painted completely black, inverted crosses and posters of Satan all around. Sure enough, it was Butler who suggested the final piece of the jigsaw. When the band were on board and ferried to Germany in early August, he surprised the name. He suggested the name Black Sabbath, the title of a 1963 horror film. But as Ward now reveals, we got the name Black Sabbath from the song. The song came before the band name. It was taken from the Boris Karloff movie of the same name. And yes, we were sitting around a table on the ferry coming up with names, and Geezer put everybody out of their misery and said, call it Black Sabbath. You know what? I think I'm going to stop right there because, yeah, then I'll continue the rest of it in part three the next time. Yeah, I don't have too much to go, so I can just finish it all and yeah, in one good shot, and it'll be done. And then I'm going to probably do another Beatles, and then I'm probably going to do something from a different band. So I'm going to keep doing these. These might catch on eventually, but I know they're not going to be popular right now. But I do enjoy doing these. So stay tuned for part three, and then I'll do something from the Beatles the next time. something a little bit later in their catalog, something a little bit more interesting than just that first debut album I already did. All right, then I'm going to let you go. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, if you're watching this for the first time, please do, because I will love you forever and greatly appreciate it. And don't be afraid to hit that like button, of course. Leave comments. I love reading your comments. I'll do my best to get to everybody's comments whenever I can and in a timely manner. Sometimes may not be right away, but I try to get to everybody's comments. Okay, that's it. Just be safe. Take care. I will see you on the flip side. And please, everybody, have a great day, evening, morning, night, or afternoon, wherever you may be. Peace, everybody.